Have you ever just stopped and wondered why some companies, absolute giants in their day, seem to just poof, vanish? While others, like an Amazon, seem to not only survive but actually get stronger with all the constant change? Well, we're going to dive right into that. Because the answer, really, is all about how organizations learn to dance with the chaos of the world around them.
That's the big question, isn't it? One minute, a company is a household name, you see it everywhere, it's on top of the world, and the next, it's just a memory. So how does that even happen? What's the secret sauce for survival in the world we live in today?
Just think about these names for a second. Blockbuster, Toys R Us, Kodak. These weren't small-time players. They were titans. They literally defined their industries for generations. And yet, they're gone. They are the ultimate warning stories because they failed to adapt. They either didn't see the future coming, or maybe they did and just couldn't turn the giant ship in time.
Now let's flip that coin and look at today's titans. Amazon, Uber, Airbnb, Netflix. These guys operate on a completely different playbook. They didn't just join a market, they blew it up and reshaped it, usually by using technology to tap into what we, the customers, wanted next. They are, from their very DNA, built for change.
And this quote from Jeff Bezos really gets to the heart of it all. He's saying the anchor isn't your cool product, it's the customer. It's all about an external focus. The big winners don't just build things in a vacuum. They build things that fit perfectly into the world outside their own walls. And that right there is the fundamental shift we have to wrap our heads around.
So to really get this, we've got to start by looking outward. We need to understand this idea of the external environment, all those powerful forces swirling around an organization that it has zero control over, but absolutely has to react to if it wants to stick around.
So here's the textbook definition, but let's break it down. The external environment is basically everything outside a company's front door that can mess with its plans. And adapting to it? Yeah, that's not optional. To succeed, to thrive, an organization has to learn to adapt to and even take advantage of these forces.
So what are we talking about here? Well, you've got these massive forces constantly in motion. There's technology, think AI just changing everything. You've got the economy with things like inflation. There are huge sociocultural shifts like new generational values. Then you have the government and politics. And of course, massive natural events. A company doesn't control any of this, but any one of them can be a tidal wave that sinks it, or the perfect wind to ride to success.
Okay, so we know these forces are out there, but how on earth is a leader supposed to make sense of all that chaos? It's not enough to just know they exist. You need a map. And lucky for us, there's a really great framework for that. It turns out you can analyze pretty much any environment by looking at two key things. First, how fast is it changing? Is it stable and predictable, or is it unstable and moving at lightning speed? And second, how complex is it? Is it simple with just a few things to keep an eye on, or is it super complex with tons of different competitors, rules, and customers all over the place? And when you put those two dimensions together, you get this absolutely brilliant matrix. It gives us 4 zones of chaos. Up in the top left, you have low uncertainty. Think of a company that makes cardboard boxes. Their world is pretty simple and stable. But then look down at the bottom right, high uncertainty. That's a tech company trying to invent the future while juggling global supply chains and new regulations every week. And here's the big takeaway. You can't use the blueprint for a cardboard box company to build a spaceship. It just won't work. And that brings us to the most important point of all. Once you understand the world outside, you can start to design your organization inside to match it. And this leads us to 2 totally different blueprints for how a company can be built. On one side, you've got the mechanistic structure. Think of a classic pyramid. It's rigid, it's predictable, control comes from the top down, and that works perfectly in those stable, low uncertainty worlds. But on the other side, you've got the organic structure. It's flexible, adaptive, collaborative. This is what you need to survive in those crazy, high uncertainty environments. It's all about matching your internal structure to the external chaos.
But here's the really interesting part. Organizational design isn't set in stone. As the world itself has gotten way more complex and unstable over the last 100 years, our blueprints for how we build companies have had to evolve right along with it. This timeline tells the story perfectly. We started way back in the 1900s with that stiff pyramid. But as the world got more complicated, our designs had to get more flexible. That led to matrix structures, then networked teams, and now we have organizations that are completely virtual. Every single step is a direct answer to a more chaotic world. And this whole evolution gives us a brand new way to think about what a company even is.
Yeah, the best way to think about a successful modern company isn't as a machine with cogs and gears, but as a living system. It has to breathe, it has to react, and it has to interact with its environment just to stay alive. And this idea is captured perfectly by something called the open systems model.
This loop shows that whole breathing process. A company takes in inputs, things like talent, money, customer data, then it transforms them into an output, let's say a new feature for an app. But here is the most important part. It listens to the feedback. Do people love the new feature? Do they hate it? That feedback becomes the next input, and the whole cycle starts over again. The companies that fail, they're closed systems. They build the feature, plug their ears, and then wonder why nobody's using it.
So, if we put all these pieces together, what does a truly future-proof organization look like? Well, it understands the forces outside, it's got an organic, adaptive structure inside, and it acts like an open system, which means it's constantly learning. But you know what? There's one more piece to this puzzle that's emerging right now.
This quote points to a huge shift in our world. Success isn't just about the bottom line anymore. A 21st century organization is now being judged on its impact on society. That external environment we talked about, it now includes a powerful demand for social responsibility. And this is turning regular businesses into what we now call social enterprises.
So a social enterprise is one that intentionally weaves profit and purpose together. It's not some charity thing on the side, it's baked right into the mission. It's about supporting its entire network, its employees, its community, the planet, not just the people who own stock. This really is the next big step in how organizations are evolving, and it's driven by our new expectations as a society.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. Take a look at your own organization, or any company you know. Is it built like a rigid pyramid, designed for a stable world that, let's be honest, doesn't exist anymore? Or is it more like an adaptive network, built to thrive in the middle of chaos? Because the future doesn't belong to the giants who can't change, it belongs to the organisms that can. Thanks for tuning in.